Okay, this tutorial is focused on making a Flutter app into a localized app that you can be able to handle users who are using different languages than maybe just the default, which might be English. So if you want to be able to handle Spanish or Chinese Mandarin, German, or many other type of languages, you can build an app with Flutter and then be able to have the app switch to a different language depending if the operating system changes the language, or you can have the user switch to a different language without having the operating system change the language. So here I've created a very simple Flutter app, and I have the Git repo in the description. But this simple app, what it does is it just has the very simple demo app of being able to have a little counter. Okay, so this is the app. And what we're doing here is we've set up the app localization, and then we've actually also have handle the two languages, and you can add more here. And we've also handled a way that when the user changes a language within the app, that it will switch to a different language. And then it'll also look at the current locale of the operating system, so that it just switches to that language depending on the language of the operating system. And then here, this is this typical sample little counter widget, but I added this little pop-up here, up here in the app bar that lets you switch to different languages. And that's all that there is to it here.
Please subscribe to this channel and like this video to support this kind of work.
Okay, so what I have the app here running within iOS Simulator, and the default language of the operating system is right now in English. You can see here that all these operating system widgets and these screens items are all in English. Now, if I run the app here, there we go, launched. Now the app is running right now in the default language of the operating system. So here I can switch to a different language. So now I've switched it to a different language. So now, since I have it in Spanish, I can switch it back to English. Okay. But now what I can do is I can switch this language to Spanish. Now that the operating is now in Spanish, you can see that all these settings here are all in Spanish. I can now go back to the launcher and bring up the app that I just built. And now you can see that it switched to Spanish. And then even while you're in Spanish, you can switch back to English, and it will behave like this. Okay, so the key important things to keep in mind here is how this works is that Flutter keeps all the strings for the app. Instead of hard coding the strings into as strings within the app, like for example, these. This is actually not displayed to the user, but other strings that are displayed to the user, for example, this title. This is normally a static string, but what you want to do is you want to be able to put these strings into these defined definitions here. And you can then have the translations in here. So you could create new ones for different languages like Chinese, German, and any other language that your users might use.